Chapter 3. Someone from the Past. "You all right, Eddie?" asked Lynn, who had noticed Eddie staring at the bar. Eddie took a moment and then said, "Yes, fine. Why?" But he was still lost in thought. He wasn't sure if the ship was moving or if he was dizzy. "You look so serious. Come on, let's dance." He was still staring at the bar. The man was still there. It was Dominic. Sitting at the bar barely 50 meters away, drinking and smoking. As simple as that. Was the world so small, thought Eddie? Couldn't it be a bit bigger? Why here? Why now? After all this time? Why on this ship? A familiar sickness in his stomach returned. "Well, don't get too excited, will you?" Eddie heard his wife say. "Sorry?" he said, turning his attention to Lynn. "A dance! Can we dance?" said Lynn impatiently. "Yes, sure, sorry." They both got up and walked to the dance floor. They held each other and danced slowly for the final verse of yet another song whose name Eddie couldn't remember. Turning in the dance, Eddie was pleased that Lynn was there with him as he tried to take in the fact that he was now staring at the distant shape of Dominic Stevens on the far side of the ship's dining room. The man Eddie saw now turned to watch the dining room and the dancing. He was hidden in a fog of his own cigar smoke. How Eddie had hated him, and how, after all this time, he still hated him. The memories, the anger, the pain. "Are you sure you're feeling all right, Eddie?" asked Lynn when they got back to their cabin. Eddie was sitting on the bed, staring into space. "Yes, just tired. I think I'm still jet-lagged, and I'm tired after walking on the island today." "You sure?" "Yes." "That trip on the glass-bottom submarine was amazing, wasn't it?" "Yeah," said Eddie. But he still couldn't think straight. His mind was filling up more and more with the terrible realization that Dominic was on the ship. Lynn knew him too well. "Eddie," she said, sitting down beside him, taking his hand and looking at him. She stroked the back of his head. "What's wrong?" Eddie had decided to accept that the trip was now spoiled. Did he need to spoil it for his wife? She didn't have to know. They would have their luxury cruise and go home to a new life. The ship was big enough. Dominic and Eddie both looked older, and Dominic probably wouldn't even remember him, so why worry about it? But all the old feelings were there again, and Eddie could sense his energy slipping away just thinking about it. It showed on his face, and Lynn could see it. Eddie could never hide much from his wife, and before he knew it, he found himself weakening. "It's Dominic. He's on the ship." It sounded so strange to Eddie to even say those words. There was a pause. Lynn looked more closely at her husband. "What?" said Lynn quietly. "Dominic Stevens? You're kidding." "I'm not kidding, Lynn. I wish I was," said Eddie. "I haven't heard that name in a long time." "Well, he's here." "How do you know he's here?" "I saw him. He was sitting at the bar this evening when we came in from the deck." "Eddie, we were sitting on the other side of the dining room. You could hardly see anything. How can you be sure it was him?" "Oh, I'm sure, Lynn. No mistake. The same fat, lazy bloke, but less hair now, and grey, and fatter." Lynn was still trying to take it in. "Dominic Stevens is on this ship?" "Yes." She waited a moment. "Oh, Eddie." They both sat there for a moment. Then Lynn spoke again. She was already recovering. "Well, look, it's a long time ago, Ed. It doesn't matter anymore. He doesn't matter anymore. He's nothing. You don't have to talk to him." "I know." "It's a big ship," Lynn continued. "It's extremely unlikely you're going to meet him." "I saw him at the bar," said Eddie. "And even if you met him by chance, as I said, he won't remember you." Then she looked closely at Eddie and asked softly, "You didn't speak to him, did you?" "No," replied Eddie. "Of course not." "And did he see you?" "No." Eddie wasn't sure if Dominic had seen him or not. Probably not. Well, that's okay then, Lynn said, but she knew it was an unhelpful thing to say. It's not okay, Lynn. It's not okay at all. That man is back. He's not back. Try to calm down. Calm down, said Eddie, raising his voice and standing up. We lost everything because of him, Lynn. Everything. He cheated and bullied and took it all away. Yes, I know, Ed, but it was 16 years ago. We've come a long way since then. You and Clive have each just put 10 million quid in the bank. So what? Dominic got away with it all at Fenton's. It's all in the past. It doesn't matter anymore. It does matter. He's still getting away with it. He still looks very pleased with himself. You don't know that. You don't know his life now. I can't believe we're talking about all this after so long. Because he's here, Lynn, on the ship, on our cruise. Eddie, listen to me. Calm down. He and Neil gave you a bad time, I know, but you fought back and survived, and you became successful anyway, without him, in spite of him and the things he said and did. You're here with me now on holiday, with financial security for the rest of our lives. You did it. You climbed back out of the hole and it's okay. He can't hurt you anymore. He nearly destroyed us, Lynn. But he didn't, did he? We didn't let him. Eddie wiped the tears from his eyes. I can't believe he's on board. Why? He's still out there, getting in the way, spoiling everything. He's not spoiling anything, only if you let him. You've come a long way since he pushed you out. So why do I suddenly feel so angry? I can't believe it. I think of him in those days at Fenton's from time to time, sometimes a lot, and it never upsets me. Well, you went through a tough time. It was very hard. If you really did see him tonight, of course that's going to upset you. It's not the same as the occasional memory. Oh, I saw him all right. He still smokes those hideous cigars. Okay, said Lynn. You went through it too, you know, he reminded her. I know. Another pause. We lost so much, Lynn. The house, the money, us. I was off sick for a year. A year! I know, said Lynn. There's no getting away from the damage the man caused, but you have to calm down. Nothing is going to happen. You don't have to see him again or talk to him. Well, what if he takes the same excursion as us at some point, or sits at our table for dinner? Eddie, there are almost 2,000 people on board. It won't happen. We can ignore him. Being the sort of person Dominic is, he's probably treated lots of people the way he treated you, so he won't know who you are or remember what he did. Somehow that makes it worse. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. If we see him again, or if he even recognizes you, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, all right? Eddie was quiet. All right? Lynn repeated, holding his face in her hands. Okay.